guys, it's Melanie with Melanie Stamps, and I am here excited as can be to celebrate Christmas in July with Spellbinders Club kits. So we are celebrating, as we always do, Christmas in July, and I have 5 cards to share with you in today's video. But just a quick update, I am recording this a couple days before my shoulder surgery, and that way I have a club video for you on July 1st. My surgery was actually June 15th, and hopefully by now I am starting to feel better and I'm starting to see progress from PT. So that'll be nice for a change, considering I've been doing PT for 3 months and not seeing a whole lot of change. So on the road to recovery, and I will be commenting down below and responding to your messages and comments. I so support or appreciate your support. You guys have been amazing. I will be leaving all of my affiliate links down below. That virtual supply list leads you to those affiliate links along with club links down below. Those links do give me a small affiliate commission at no cost to you. Using those links helps me keep going. So thank you, thank you, thank you for those supportive clicks, because during this time with me being down, it has been rough to keep going without content. So thank you, thank you, thank you. But remember, even if you're not shopping, using that thumbs up and commenting down below, sharing this video, all of those things help at the end of the day for any of your content creators. So make sure you give everybody the love. So let's jump into clubs and let me share the Christmas spirit with you. Okay, let's jump into these products. The only item I have not used this month in my projects are the Cue the Merry, which is the stamp and die of the month. I ended up not using it by accident. I had sentiments for everything else through the Better Press and one of the other stamps and dies. It was a die set, actually. And so I ended up not using it, but I will read it out to you so you can see what it says. The sentiments read, "Let's light it up, sending you all the cheer. Hope your holiday is trimmed with joy. Cue the merry, Merry Christmas. All the best this holiday season from the jolliest duo." I love that one. "Make way for Christmas. Hope your Christmas is as happy as a snowy day." Gosh, that would have been a good one for one of my cards. "May Christmas sparkle around you, sending a whole lot of merry your way. Let the holiday mischief begin." That would have also been another great one for one of my cards. Oh my goodness. "And wishing you so much fun." Now, of course, I've been working on these cards really early because of my surgery, which as the time of recording this right now is actually tomorrow. So I'm cramming it in at the last minute. I recorded some of this video yesterday and some of it today, so bear with me, but I'm getting it out. That's the main deal. So I was rushing, better pressed everything out, didn't get to this, but I wanted to share this. But boy, could I have used a couple of those, and it might have been a little cuter than on what I used on my cards. So anyways, but I had to share it with you. So remember, they always come with all of the dies. So everything there will have a die with it. All right, let's jump in. I'm going to show you a few products, and then I'm going to show you some samples because they mix and match with these products. So here is the press and foil. Now this is a full A2 background, and then you have one and done sentiment. So you press this or foil this, and then you have a die to cut it out all in one go. So this is your plate. And I left it out for a little bit without cleaning it, so it did end up getting a little bit stained because I was lazy. Just a tad, though. So this is it's a pine foliage plate with a little bit of extra accents in the background. And then your sentiment here, like I said, you get 3 sentiments with 1 die. So with that, it is called Festive Forest, 2 plates, 1 die. And the sentiments read, "Make it memorable, happy holidays, and let the merry begin." I'll show you a card with that in a second. This is the die of the month. Now this is the small die, and boy, it's not small. I have used this multiple times in my card. It is called Snow Much Fun. And it is, guys, it is. You've already noticed there's some penguins on here. This is the die I used in one of my cards that says Let It Snow. You've got some snowbanks here. You've got some snowflakes. You've got some baubles to be able to light up your cards with the lights. One of the penguins is on skis. The other one is sliding down a snowbank. You'll see that in a minute here. But this is the sample they gave here, where they have both. They have the skier and the one that's sliding down on his bottom. They use the snowflakes in the background and Let It Snow at top. So that is their sample for the card. Super, super cute. And so much versatility with that one, which you will see in a minute. So this is the large die of the month, and it's called Merry Shuffle. And I've used this die a couple times as well. This one here, I just had fun mixing and matching this month. That's why I'm showing you a few, and then I'm going to show you the samples. So this one here has a Santa. It has an elf, which I didn't use the elf. Now, both of these are the ones that dance. You have your dancing mechanisms in here. You also have a tree. So let me show you. This is what the card is intended to make. This large tree, the two elves, or the elf and Santa peeking out behind it, and then your lights. Now remember, your lights could go however you want on your card though. So you can make this work for you over just the entire card front if you wanted to. And then of course they used a stamp and die here from that first set on this card. But here's the little elf and all of his pieces. Here's Santa and all of his pieces. And then they show you step by step on how to put it together. So really nice directions. So that is the large die of the month. And, oh, you got a little sneak peek there. Then this is called Festive Greetings. And it is your 3D of the month. And actually, let me just show it to you, because it is in one of my cards. This one here. It has a whole bunch of Merry Christmas sentiments on the back of them. And this is where I said that one sentiment would come in. It says here, let the holiday mischief begin. That would have been really good for these guys because they are in quite mischievous, mischievous moods here playing on the Christmas tree. So instead of having Santa and the elf, I decided to use the Christmas tree from the large die, the two penguins from the small die, and then this little guy comes in later out of your freebie. And I just snuck him in there as a third friend. So you'll see him out of one of the freebies here in just a little bit. So this is my first card. Now I put glitter on their hats, and then glitter, I just put like stickles on their little ornaments so that they shine. And we went with a non-traditional color scheme with this Christmas card. So love the way that one turned out. This here is a movable one. You can see he swings on his candy cane. This is also one of your freebies, so might as well pull that freebie out to show it to you. Since both of the guys are being shared here, this is your freebie here being used on this card. And here's your little penguin that's right here. This one's called Candy Cane Swing. And I have used it here with our Better Press of the month. So that's how Mr. Snowman and Candy Cane came to be. And he's just rocking and rolling. And I used the Better Press Happy Holidays on him. Here again, non-traditional colors. I just felt in a non-traditional mood this week or this month. And then one of my favorite cards this month, in thinking of Christmas in July, my husband is Santa. So Santa had to ride in Mindy Egan's convertible car. Now the background here was made with watercolor. And Santa is from the large die of the month. Rather than him peeking out from the Christmas tree, I tucked him under behind the roadster. So I've never done a landscape background before. I did record it But it was a hot mess, so I wasn't sure to share it with you guys or not, because it was my very first one. So I have not put it in this video. If it's something you guys would like to see in the future, I don't know. I don't know. Tell me if I should have included it, because it is a hot mess. I don't know if I should include it or not. But I do have a tutorial for you. I do have another watercolor background tutorial, and it was, again, another... I'm just going to try this out, and we'll see if it works out, and it did. Thank goodness. And I have that tutorial coming up for you here in just a little bit. So stick to, maybe I should put it in. You guys, should I put it in? Okay, I'm going to keep it a surprise. If it comes in right here, then you know I had guts. I haven't even watched it yet. So we'll see. If not, leave me a link or a message below and tell me if I should have. We'll see. Okay, so for our background, I'm just going to take this 5x7 piece, and we're going to end up cutting this down most likely. But I'm going to go ahead and tape this down to my background here, just to keep everything nice and secure, and also give us a nice border, just in case we decide to keep the whole 5x7. I am using the smoother side of the cold press paper. Cold press paper tends to have a smooth side and a bumpy side. This is one of those times where it does have both textures, and I'm choosing to use the smoother side. Okay. This is a 1/4 inch tape. This is painter's tape. I'll make sure to have this in my supply list or in my Amazon store, whichever it ends up being. Okay, so now we've got that taped down, and I'm going to go ahead and prep the watercolor paints. I'm just going to activate these with water by spritzing those. I'll go ahead and spritz these wells as well. I think we probably will use those colors. I'm going to use a large background brush and just go ahead and add water, clean water, to this entire background. Just an even amount, because we are just going to want a background landscape here. Nothing too fancy. And I'm going to let that dry just a little bit. I just wanted a little bit of free movement. And we're going to end up creating ourselves, this is lapis lazuli that I'm using here. So we'll mix up some paints. Not really gotten enough water in there. I'm going to use Starry Night and lapis lazuli. I just really want to prep those paints and get them nice and juicy. There we go. I'm also going to get some Starry Night, a little darker, and I might just add that to this as we get going. Make sure that dark is out so it's not as dark. Okay. So let's go ahead and go in here with the lapis, and I'm just going to want to create a sky. This has dried quite a bit, as you can see by the, you see how it's giving you this look here. That's because of the lack of water, so it has kind of dried back. And I'm just going to give this, go ahead and add a little bit more water. give us a blue sky. And I want this darker at the top, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of that in here. Go ahead and get quite a bit darker. And then just do kind of an ombre into that lighter. That looks good. Now we're going to have a car in here, so I'm going to want some clouds. So I'm just going to take a piece of this paper towel here, and we'll just see about lifting some clouds out of there. A little bit. Maybe we'll add just a tiny bit more blue down here. Blend this into nothingness. Okay. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, we'll go ahead and change our colors here. And let's just see what happens when we take, oh, this is some older paint, so I'm gonna have to thicken this up here. Let's see. Okay, so let's see about adding, see what happens when we add just a line of mountains here. That's why I wanted to get lighter here at the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to pull that color down the rest of the way. I'm just going to use that with the big brush and pull that down so it covers our paper. Okay, then you want it to get darker as you go. So that means this is going to have to thicken up. Less water, more paint. So go ahead and add more pigment there. And before we can go in, though, this needs to completely dry. So we're going to have to let this dry. You can also bring a heat tool in here and make it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my heat tool and we will work on that. Just a little bit more in there. So now we want a second mountain range. So as it gets closer, it gets darker. So just try to make it look natural, which I'm not the best at doing because I've not done this a whole lot. Just remember you want it darker than the first one. And we're going to do that each time by adding more pigment. So you have more pigment, less water. And this is just going to give us some pretty mountains And as the mountains come closer to you, you of course are going to have more more color in your more value. So it's going to be darker. Like so. Go ahead and see if we can get enough of this dark. Put in here. Almost out of paint, so let's see if we can get up the layer on there that makes it darker. There we go. Probably need a bigger brush doing this too, but we are going to just make it work. And this mountain here is not the most believable, so I'm just gonna kind of just do that. Okay, this one over here is not the greatest either. I think it got a little wet. I'm just gonna fix that a little bit too. Remember, this is your painting. Doesn't have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. So just play with it and enjoy the process. Okay. All right. Put a little water on there. Just scrubbing that a little bit right there. Oh, I'm making it worse. Let's see if I can just get a little bit of paint. There we go. I'm losing my mountain because I did that. So we're going to need more paint here in our well. Activate that a little more. And I want a little. Really messed it up right there. But maybe, I don't know, maybe we can put a tree in there or something. Because it really did mess up right in that area. Okay, so I think it's still looking okay though. I think I want to add a little bit more dark in the sky up here. And maybe down the sides a little bit. Just trying to make it so you can't see where it starts and ends. Okay, now this is going to have a vehicle on it, so I'll be able to cover up some of my boo-boos, but I do want to give it some grounding. So I'm going to make sure there's no blue in there, and then I'm going to go in to my rock collection, which is a gray, and that is this one right here. And let's just make it right here. So this is a pretty dark color. So let's just add a little water to it. And we're just going to give a little grounding down here. Now I am just learning to do watercolor like this, my own watercolor. So I can tell you a few things I'm learning just from this one picture. And that is water control. Controlling the amount of water is definitely something I need to work on. So I'm going to be practicing that. This is my road. So that's all I'm doing here is putting a road in. So I have place for the car to lay or to sit or to drive on. That'll make me happy knowing there's a ground down here. And that's all I'm doing. It's just adding the ground so the purple doesn't show. And I'm happy with that. Okay. So we're going to put a car on here. And Santa's going to be in there. And I'm probably going to splatter possibly some snow in there. And that is my idea for this watercolor. So I'm going to show you the finished project here coming up. But I just thought while I'm doing this and playing around with this moment of water and paint and everything that I would just include it in the video today. Then you just do the border pull, and it gives you a nice crisp border all the way around your project. So here's my final picture. It's not perfect by any means. Hope you guys enjoyed the play. We'll see. I love you guys. Okay, but I had a lot of fun with this. I did. I had a lot of fun. I was just playing in my craft room one night and did this. And then later on, this came out of it. So let the merry begin and make it memorable. And my husband makes every Christmas memorable for everyone he touches. Actually, all year long, every year, he makes things memorable because he works with his ministry, Santa for the Homeless, and touches so many hearts every single day that he's out in the field. So he definitely makes things memorable all year long. So thank you, Santa Randy. All right, now we're going to switch over to a couple others. This one here is the stitching die of the month, and this one is so cute. Oh my goodness. If I had to buy one this month, I think it might be this one. I did have a lot of fun with the large die and the small die, mixing and matching. This one is super cute, though. It just depends on your style. So, but this is Sweater Weather Friend, and it is a reindeer. And the reindeer can either hold the cup of coffee, or it could be cocoa, or it could also hold on to pretty much anything else in his hands. I'm actually putting a freebie in his hands, which is another one of our free items this month. But I opted not to put the lights in his antlers, but you do have lights you can put in his antlers. He has a sweater that is stitchable and a scarf that is stitchable. So let me show you. They actually put in their sample the lights on him, and they put a sentiment in his hands from the stamp and die of the month, which is the one I did not use right here. So that shows you another way you can use that item. They also do, here again, break everything down for you, making it really easy for you to assemble. Now, I'm almost to the sample to show this one to you, but gosh, I just can't. I'm almost there. I'll share it in just a second. I can't wait. This is the stencil of the month, Holiday Harmony. It is a 5-piece stencil. These ones are all very similar, the top four making a circular background, and then they have little stars and snowflakes and things sporadically spread, but they all layer just a tad, not too much. They don't overlayer so much that your colors get really muddy, but just a little bit. I mean, you can see here where that one is overlapping that one. That one is overlapping that one. See, there's just tiny little overlaps. But then if you want to, you can put this one on top at the end, and these do overlap the baubles, the circles in the pieces. So you'll want to use a paste or something on this one. And I actually did do a paste, but it seeped under the edges. And I will show that to you. Funny story with this. Last night, Randy and I stenciled together. It was his first time stenciling, and this was my stencil. And when I was done, it got underneath this. And I could use this. I could totally use this. It's very pretty. But it got underneath the stencil. I did not have it held down really well. And it got underneath the stencil there. I was using a plastic applicator instead of a metal applicator. And really on something like this, you probably should use the big one and scrape down. I was using a tiny, tiny one and it was plastic. I should have used either my metal one or the large one, or used pixie spray with this one, because there's so many different types of shapes and holes, but it still turned out really pretty, and this can give you an idea of what it's going to look like. You're going to see it a lot from other designers. Now, let me show you on the screen right here what Randy's looked like. Now, remember, this is his first time ever using layering stencils on his own, and he followed my directions really, really well. But you see, there are lots of blemishes and little, idiosyncrasies outside of the lines, and this is very typical for a beginner. But I had these two to look at, and I decided to use Randy's, not mine. And I will show you that card here in 2 seconds. The last one I just want to show you real quick before I share these samples with you is the Snuggly Knit sweater. And this is a cable knit sweater. And let me just show you the sample. Here's our reindeer. And you see the cable knit here in the background. That's the cable knit sweater. And this is the background we are going to do here in just a second to finish our video. That is it right there. And here is our adorable little reindeer. Isn't he cute? And this is your other freebie of the month. So he is holding his teddy bear. I thought that was so cute. It's called Merry Bear. And you can decorate him however you want. I actually didn't even put the bow on him. I didn't even realize that. But you know what? He's his teddy bear. He doesn't have to be a Christmas bear. He can be a teddy bear. It's just like anybody's snuggly bear. It could be off Christmas. It doesn't have to be a Christmas bear. So I just thought that was so adorable. We stitched this in gold and green for his sweater. And then this background is what the tutorial is going to be. So it was very interesting doing it. And you'll want to stick around for that because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had the idea in my mind though. And I was like, is this going to work? I'm pretty sure it will. But these colors are not friends. So when you're using watercolors, you want to make sure you use friendly colors together because you don't want to make mud. And I'll show you how to do it. So last but not least, Randy's card. Here is Randy's card. Now remember what it looked like before with all the smudges and all the... You can cover a multitude of sins even as a beginner. So don't be scared of your supplies, guys. Use your supplies. I could have used mine. I decided not to. I decided to use Randy's and show it off to the world. So Randy, you did a good job, Santa. Amazing, amazing background. And we had fun doing it together. So I'm going to jump off now and let you see the tutorial here at the end. I hope you like it. And I hope to see you in August. It'll depend on how my recovery is going. There's no exact plans right now, but hopefully I will be here August 1st again. And we will not miss one of these club videos. That is my goal. Now, at the end, after the tutorial, I got a sneak peek at one last thing. So stick around. Okay, this little cute guy is our stitching of the month. Now, I just noticed I don't have his little nose on there, so I will be adding his little nose. But I just wanted to show you the color scheme of the card, and we're going to try to make a background with watercolors. Just quick, easy, fun, using these colors. Now, these colors don't usually play nice together, so we're just going to see what happens. Just wanting some of these touches in the background of our card. It's not going to look pretty at first, but I have an idea where he's going to be on a background, and then he's going to be placed on the background. So he's going to have a frame around him before he's placed down on here. So we just want some touches of color around the edges to give these colors in the background. Now I have used the embossing, one of the embossing folders here. It's a cable knit, and I've embossed this piece of watercolor card. So I'm just going to put him aside for safety, and I'll make sure the little bear gets his nose. And what we're going to do first is just activate our watercolors. We're going to use a red there. We're going to use some brown, maybe some green. So I'll just activate those with water. And I'll start with my medium brush. And how about, these are definitely going to need a little more water. You really want your watercolor to be juicy. Let me grab my palette real quick, just so we can see this on the actual palette. Okay. All right, let's see, which green do we want to use? Let's go with, I guess, well, I'll use a little bit. We'll just mix them together, see what we get. Mixy mixy. It is okay. It is okay. And if you want this a little lighter, you can add more water to this, which we can do in a minute, because I don't want to put this in my water just yet. Get the pigment on here. Okay. Dirty water, dirty water. Well, we know red and green looks like it makes black, huh? Red and green does not play nice together, so we're going to have to keep those colors apart. I'm going to add a little more water in there. A lot of pigment on there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and get this pretty brown right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put some brown on here. All right. Now, like I said, these colors are not going to be pretty together. So let's just put a little of this, and we can put a little water on here too, just so it moves around a little. And like I said, I just want a little of these colors here and there, but we really don't want them to touch because they're going to make mud. Not going to be the prettiest things in the world, but I just wanted the color and I want the embossing to show, right? Now, something you can do is you can dry these in between layers, or you can wait for them to dry, either one. But for right this second, I'm going to go ahead. See how adding that water to this helped it thin out and helped it get lighter? That's what I was going for. So let's just put a little of this here. It really lightened it, didn't it? A little this down here. Remember, the center is going to be covered up. Oh, I put it in the brown. Ah, okay. Get a paper towel. Look that up. Fix our mistake. Look at that. Fix the mistake. Okay. Just get some clean water here. Make sure it's clean enough. Lift that brown out of there. That was a boo-boo. All right. Let's go back in the green. Much better. Much better. Not paying attention. All right. Okay, and it's all starting to dry already. So we can go ahead and make it dry. A little bit here. You know what? I'm going to put a little bit more of this green over here too. And then we're going to fill in that areas, the areas with red. Let's dry this real quick. Actually wiped that right there by accident. No good. We can also cut this down because this is a 5x7. I'm not sure what size I want my card, so I started with a 5x7 panel of watercolor paper. I know I'm going to border it, but I don't know if I want an A2 or a 5x7, so I started with a 5x7. Okay, so let me make sure this is clean. All right, now we're going to see, can we get our red in there? It's not much red there. Nice and juicy. It's going to get black if it hits that green, so really don't want that. Really don't want that. If I can help it. More water in this. So we can see that design in there. I have enough paint here. I really want to see the design of the embossing folder. All right, now I'm going to get as much of this on here as I can. Just got water on here. Just trying to dab this because this paint really didn't have enough water to spread out. There we go. Now I'm starting to see the embossing. That's what I'm wanting to see. And this red didn't have enough water. There we go. See how that right there, the red went over the brown and it didn't turn mud? That's because the brown is dry. It's not going to be dry for long if I sit here and put lots of water on it, but that's why that happened. Being really careful here. Okay. I have no idea what this is going to look like when it's done. Okay. My too much brain is Going crazy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and dry that. But before I do, I'm going to be crazy and just add a little water on top. That's a lot of water, but I just want it to just all set into the paper. Just a little bit. Just so it'll move. I don't want it to move a lot. I just want it to just seat into the paper. And then I'm going to dry it. I just don't want it to look like I sat there in colored spots, you know? And I have no idea what this is going to look like when it's done, and it's got something covering most of it, you know, because it's going to be most of it, and it's probably going to, I don't even know if it's going to look good or not. I may have should have done a ombre. I don't know. Would the red and the brown go together? I'm not sure. Like these two. Are those mix? Ombre? I don't know. They might. I'm just playing. I'm just learning. We're learning together. But I know the red and the green make like black. So those definitely mix these. See this? Like a dark brown, black, mud color. You don't want that. I've also never just painted straight over an embossing folder, so this area right here is really icky looking. That's another good thing about doing a 5x7 is you can cut it down and take the area that you like the best. The other thing though is this is taped down, so that removes a fourth of the border all the way around. So that, you know, removes some of your cut down space. I'll do the paint or the tape peel. This is watercolor tape. So it doesn't tear your paper. It gives you a pretty nice border if you want to. So this looks like garbage right now. So the question is, and let me just wipe some of this off. Don't get too much on my background. The question is, when you take something like this, and then you take something like this, and you put it on top, and then you decide, do I want to cut it down? See, what I'm thinking is I'm going to cut it down, then I'm going to add a gold border, and voila. I'm thinking I'm liking it. So let's see how it turns out. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. It was a lot of fun, and it even surprised me at the end on how it turned out when I laid down the reindeer after the watercoloring. So I was happy to share that with you. Now, this is the sneak peek here. This is also releasing today. This is Hero Arts, my monthly hero and my monthly superhero. So if you are interested in a more summertime feel, these are my cards, and I had help with these from a friend of mine. Her name is Lisa, and she also helped me with these, like Nancy was helping me with these. So I just wanted to share these on screen also, and I'll leave the link down below. And remember, all of my links below are affiliate links. Those links do help me support my channel, especially at this time. So if there's anything you see that you're interested in, pop down below, see the, click the little more button, and the links for both Spellbinders and Hero Arts will be down there below. But I just think these are adorable. Look at the little shaker. Isn't that sweet? And the sentiments, sending a big squeeze. I thought that was precious. It would totally lighten up somebody's day. This one here is very vintage, and I used the thanks friend on there, but this is very vintage. Makes me think of France or Italy. And then this one Such delicate and gorgeous foliage all the way around. Such a labor of love. And then this large sentiment fit in there perfectly. And this is a die set from Hero Arts as well. So just beautiful, beautiful cards all around. It was a labor of love from my friends and myself. And I just appreciate them helping me, and just had to share that here at the end of the video. So thank you so much for stopping by today, my friends. I really appreciate you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the cards. Feel free to leave me your thoughts down below, like your favorites and what you thought about the tutorial, etc. And we will see you next month. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now.